to say first of all that this descent to barbarism did not start overnight. It was a product of many years, I can even say hundreds of years of conscious manipulation of the consciousness of our people. For many years, that northern part of the country used to be an area with different people, so to speak. And then came the Arabian imperialists, you know, with their religion at that point in time of Islam. And of course, despite all the propensities of the fathers, the teachings of that religion, coordinate with peace, the imperialists, in the hands of imperialists, it became a weapon of suppression and domination of our people, up to the jihad of Uthman and Fodio. That's in Sokoto, you recollect, there's a caliphate. There's a caliphate in that Sokoto. And the origin of the caliphate is that it is an impostor. It's an imposition on the people of Sokoto to tomorrow. It's only the people of Borno, the Kalami warriors of Borno, that were able to defeat the Arabian imperialists in the early 17th century. So that background is also important. By the time the British came, very recently, quite recently, less than 200 years ago, when they came more or less to they even struck why in the southern part of the country called Nigeria today, they were able to do a lot of armed suppression of our people from Ijebu to Onitsha to what we call the long war in the eastern part of the country, what they call the Ekumeku War, the Anglo-Ekumeku War. You have the Anglo-Ijebu War, the Anglo-Egba War, wars between the British people and the southern nationalities. But unlike all these southern nationalities, when they got to the northern part, they found an effective structure of colonialism already going on in the name of religion, you know, and so they just struck an alliance with the Arabian, Islamo-Arabian imperialists at that time. And that has been, so that part of the world has been under a double colonialism for hundreds of years. So 2022, what happened in 2022 is not an accident of history. It's a continuation of that, you know, distortion of consciousness by both sides of imperialism. But if you look at the scenario that happened, Deborah Samuel herself is a Christian. But she was trying to correct her colleagues that this platform is not for religion. Let us adhere to the rules of the platform. Lo and behold, in 2022, they dragged her out of security posts, they stoned her and burnt her. Now what that tells you is that those are the fabric upon which that part of the world is called the poorest part of the world. Nigeria is called today the poorest country in the world. Northern Nigeria is the poorest part of the world. You have oppression using the tools of religion. Not only Islam, even Christianity too. We see what the churches in Nigeria have turned to. They are more or less big businesses. We have GOs that have big private jets, fleet of cars, and they have businesses in different parts of the sector. They work in cahoots with the Nigerian ruling. So ultimately, we need to free ourselves from the bondage of religion, from the bondage of oppression, from the bondage of capitalism, and ultimately open up a society free of oppression and on a socialist basis.
So what's your reaction? There was a news yesterday, the first day, concerning the looting of funds by the Attorney General. Accountant General. The 80 billionaire.
Yeah, 80. It's 80. Yeah. 80 billion.
I said 80.
Yeah, so now, the Accountant General is a case of using the cards to be monitoring needs. You understand? The Accountant General is just one out of many other looters within the system. And this system is organized in a way that they continue looting. I've explained somewhere just before this interview that according to the World Bank, Nigeria generates about $18 trillion per year. That $18 trillion goes down to just less than 1% of the population. In fact, according to Oxfam International, those 5 mega billionaires control a lot of humongous wealth that can end poverty for about 95% of the population. So even if you are a Gabriel, if you are appointed within this system to man the treasury of this system, you are going to be a looter. You are a captain of looters. But the question is that this regime, the Buhari regime, should not give us that carrot that it is hanging just the Accountant General alone. ASU has been on strike asking for a paltry sum, less than 10 billion naira, to revive the universities. So if just one person has looted 80 billion, it tells you how much humongous wealth is available in the treasury of this country that is lying away in the pockets of a rich few. So how do we tie all this up? The Sokoto burning, the Accountant General looting, the ASU strike, student protests, the Lekki, maybe we'll come to that, the Lekki killing and all that. Is that except we decide as a people to organize ourselves, to mobilize to the streets. We don't need to wait till 2023. We can't even wait till 2023 anymore. We need to hit the streets as fast as possible to displace these 1%ers who have been hitting us dry in this country and, establish a revolutionary government, a revolutionary working people's government as fast as possible. What we're going to have is justice for Deborah, justice for Dave, and justice, and we are going to be having more cases of justice for until eternity comes.
Yeah, finally, there was a bomb blast by suicide bombers, 2 to 3 suicide bombers yesterday at Kano, attempting, or should I say, successfully attacking a school full of young people. What can you say? What's your reaction to this? Like tagging into the insecurity in the country.
Thank you so much for raising the Kano incident. Obviously, the Kano incident just ties along with what I've been saying. If you recollect, this same Kano is the state of Ganduje, popularly called Gandu Dollars. Gandu Dollars Governor Gandu Dollars, who collected dollar on videotape. But for the majority of the people in that part of the state, from Kano to Sokoto, we should not even mention Kaduna again. You can't access Kaduna by land, by air. If you are landing by air, some bandits will just welcome you with rifle. And if you are going by train, they will kidnap you and take you inside the bush. If you are going by, I think it's only by sea. Unfortunately, there's no sea to enter that place. So, and this regime, this Buhari regime, came to power on the promise that it's going to resolve the insecurity caution and many other things. But what we are having now is nothing to write home about. And this regime is now already waxing another album that because of insecurity, it is asking for tenure extension. Presently, it doesn't have the boldness to tell of us to our faces that it wants tenure extension. Clearly, the 2023 election is not going to end well. You don't need to be a doomsday prophet to prophesy that. All the shenanigans that is happening now is point to the fact that the election is not going to end. It's not going to end well. So overwhelmingly, what we need at this point in time, Kano attack, Sokoto attack, all the attacks is that we can't wait. As to strike, students protest, we can't wait again till 2023. We must mobilize to the streets as fast as possible to say total no to tenure extension by the Buhari regime. The Buhari regime should not spend 1 second more in Aso Rock. In fact, should not spend 1 millisecond more in power. And all the other oppressors across the states, they have taken all this far to the abyss. We are now at the abyss, and we cannot go further. We must stand up and resist this oppressor once and for all. If you compare and contrast the Sokoto burning with the Lekki burning, you will discover some similarities. Lekki, for whatever it is called, is seen to be the abode of the super rich. But what the killing of Dave has revealed is that beneath that underbelly, beneath that underbelly is a rotting situation in which hundreds of residents of Etiosa federal constituency, which I am seeking to represent the National Assembly, are living in poverty. Apart from Lekki Phase 1, Chevron, and some very, very few nice estates, most part of Etiosa doesn't have roads, don't have water, don't have hygiene. And when you talk about these Okada people at Lekki Phase 1, the thing is that you cannot cure leprosy with the medicine for ringworms. Most of the roads, apart from the Admiralty Way and apart from the Lekki Empire Expressway, most of the inner roads in the federal constituency are unpassable for vehicles, so you have to access them through Okada. So that is what prompted the Okada thing, for instance. Now, Dave is a victim of that tragedy today. Who else would be? Who else in that same constituency? In this same Lagos generates 11 trillion naira as IGR, enough to cater for all of us. That is bigger than the IGR of 11 states. KB State, in fact, in 2015, Governor Akinwumi they donated 3 billion naira to KB State to show you that we have enough money. We are even doing for that Christmas. We are doing giveaway. There's so much money in Lagos and Etiosa, Lagos mainland, Makoko. People are even, eviction is even looming in Makoko now. They are planning to evict them and others. So we are calling on Lagosian or Etiosa people to stand up and resist all these things once and for all.